let's get more reactions on the Vice President's 2028 run announcement. And for that, let's bring in the man who refuses to be called political analyst. Pero he reads a political room the same way one reads weather apps. At sigurado, pagdating sa ganitong mga usapin, ano kaya ang nababasa dito ng ating idol na political strategist, si Alan Herman. Sir Alan, Lourdes Vera po at Denise Tan.
Okay, Lord, first of all, you're doing my eulogy when I die. No? That's the best intro I've ever heard coming in to a guesting. Yep, you're it, brother. You're doing my eulogy.
May dadagdag ako doon. If I die, bury me upside down so the whole world can Vietnam.
Anyway, I will not finish. I will not finish that sentence. But
Sir,
yes.
Nagpapasalamat kami sa oras mo, Alan.
Nagulat ba kayo sa sa announcement? Nagulat kayo sa announcement? Were you guys shocked? Did you fall off your seat? Did the plates rattle? Did you drop your pens and papers?
Alan, ikaw ba nagulat?
Well, she's been teasing at it for a while, no? Parang siguro naman that was the most expected, so-called unexpected political announcement done in recent history. Everybody pretty much assumed that the Vice President would be going for 2028. Dahil nga sa clamor ng mga Duterte forces, talagang this was a plot that was written as early as the Unity break. Yung very, very ugly, very, very polarized break ng Unity, no? So siguro hindi tayo masyadong nagulat sa pag-anunsyo. Siguro ang mahalaga ditong pag-aralan yung timing.
Okay, are you reading any method behind the madness, Alan? What could... Yeah.
Absolutely, no. Again, this is a political chess game. It's one-upmanship. Siguro better than comparing it to a chess game. One-upmanship to, papogian sa salitang kalye na sanay tayong tatlo, no. Papogian ito, pagalingan. So what they're trying to do here, I feel, on the Duterte camp, is they're trying to take the wind off the sails of the upcoming impeachment formalization. Pag formally na-launch na yung impeachment, syempre, ang mauunang headline, naunahan na yung headline. This will dominate the headlines for conceptually at least the next 2 days. Ito yung pag-uusapan, medyo took the wind out of the sails. Tapos, meron na siyang ready narrative. Nag-plant na siya ng narrative seed or narrative anchor na tinatawag sa aming industriya, no, na anything done beyond this point ay politika yan. Kasi nag-announce ako, natatakbo ko. So lahat ng persecution, lahat ng mga exposition at lahat ng mga ilalabas laban sa akin ay politically motivated kasi ako ang front runner. So it's great, no? It's muscle flexing and at the same time, hanging a negative. So yan yung mga terms sa aming mga campaign strategists. Okay. Nag-muscle flex ka na, naghang ka pa ng negative sa mga babatikos sa'yo na pinaghahandaan mo.
So may narrative in your opinion. But Alan, what do you think, what kind of message do you think this sends out also to those behind the impeachment complaints? Dahil we all know that Sara is doing very well in the surveys.
Ma'am Denise, I'm so happy that you used the term message. No? So that's really what it is. More than an announcement, this is really sending a strong message. Dahil papasok tayo sa impeachment, it is formalizing and really bringing it in your face. Talagang this is already the giant neon blinking sign that is being put in the face of the congressmen who will ultimately vote whether to send these impeachment proceedings to the Senate, na parang, oy, malapit na 2028, mag-compute ka na. Eto na, tatakbo na ako. Start drawing your hard lines now. Hindi ka pwedeng namamangka sa dalawang ilog, hindi ka pwedeng soft, hindi ka pwedeng, ay ma'am, I'll decide pag nandiyan ako. Hindi. I am drawing the hard line now. Mag-isip ka. Do the calculus in your head. Dahil in 2 years, at least the message that is being being attempted to be conveyed here is, in 2 years ako presidente. tatandaan ko kung sinong mga bumoto, sinong mga hindi bumoto, sino nag-abstain. So this is really sending that strong message to the congressman.
Parang read the room. Pero Alan, di ba yung kasabihan sa industriya natin sa politika sa Pilipinas, ang maagang nag-aanunsyo ay maaga ring binabato. So ina-assume ba natin na parang lahat na pwedeng ibato sa Vice Presidente, parang nilalabas na?
Oo, let's be students of history, lilingon tayo sa ating pinanggalingan. Yan ang katotohanan. History will prove that correct. No? That the early declarers or early declarations of intent to run, kadalasan hindi na nanalo. Sa totoo lang, and I'm not saying this will happen in the case of VP Inday. I'm not. That's 25 levels up my pay grade to be saying such a thing. Pero tumingin lang tayo sa historical data, yung mga unang nag-a-announce, hindi usually yan lumalabas sa endgame dahil ang political race ay isang marathon, hindi yan sprint. Hindi yan pabilisan, patagalan yan. So the earlier you announce, ay talagang there will be a concerted effort. Alliances will be formed and narratives will be drawn to pull you down, lalo kapag ikaw ay isang perceived leader of the pack.
So, okay. Pero ang example, halimbawa, ng sila Binay, no, ng 2016, July 1 siya nag-anunsyo. No? Pero
Yes.
marami nagsasabi na as early as 2011, nag-indicate siya sa isang interview na tatakbo siya for 2016. Pero yung 2015, 2016 at ngayon versus 2028, medyo malayo-layo talaga ito, sir.
Malayo. Malayo.
Ano ang possible Black Swan event na maaring magbago sa dynamic ng mga bagay-bagay? Kasi kung yung 2010 elections, may Black Swan event doon, sir. No? Namatay si Cory.
Yes, definitely.
Opo.
Namatay ang ating icon of democracy. Number one, Boss Lord, I'm surprised na naalala mo yung candidacy ni Vice President Binay, no? Dahil tingin ko 4 years old ka lang nung nangyari yun. Batang-bata ka pa.
Nababasa ko lang dati yun.
Oo, yun na nga eh. Parang naka-short pants ka pa lang yata noon, hindi ka pa bumoboto. But
Pareho din ng
in
Boy
terms of
Scout si Binay, naka-short pants din pag naka-Boy Scout outfit siya. Naalala ko yun.
Correct. So, marami tayong tinatawag na Black Swan events or what we call inflection points. Now, the technical term for a Black Swan event is, in election parlance, is inflection points. Marami tayong pwedeng abangan. Not to be morbid, not to be that guy who will wish any ill on anyone, but a big inflection point may iniisip ng mga tao is, what if something untoward or something should happen to the former President Rodrigo Duterte habang nasa The Hague siya. That is an emotional trigger para sa marami sa atin. May mga lolo tayo, meron tayong mga tatay na imagine we will be a number of Filipinos will be able to relate to that. Talagang magmumukhang sobrang martyred ang dating Pangulo pag nangyari yan. He wasn't even able to return home. So that's one big inflection point. Another one is the consolidation of the so-called, tawag nila orange is the new color, di ba? Dahil there's this so-called consolidation between the Reds or the Marcos forces and the yellow/pink forces, di ba, yung mga dating liberal. Ang word on the street dyan, yung informal term dyan, may ABS movement, anyone but Sara. So pag nagka-consolidation yan at they're able to rally behind the unified candidate, that's another big inflection point. Ang gusto ko rin tignan, ka-network ninyo yan. I want to see where the Tulfos will go. I want to see where the senator, either of the senators will go politically. Dahil in terms of populist appeal, in terms of mass, yung talagang mass gathering at people who can really appeal to gut emotions and instincts, mahirap talunin si VP Inday Sara Duterte, pero kayang tapatan ng mga Tulfo yan. So I'm also very curious to see where they will go. If they will align with the political force, if they will go independent. So marami pa tayong inflection points na binabantayan. But for me, the most critical one is, tignan natin kung ano yung may ilalabas sa impeachment. Dahil pag sobrang glaring at pag sobrang talagang sampal sa mukha ng Pilipino ang mailabas during the impeachment trials, that can be a big turning point as well.
I wonder kung ano yung malaking sampal, no, na maapektuhan talaga yung Pilipino. But Alan, I guess the big question really now is, I know you mentioned the Tulfos, but is there anyone else that you think can be pitted against the VP Sara?
Right now, just looking at the numbers, agnostically looking at the numbers, the math of it, if you combine the yellow-pink forces with the Marcos forces, that's about 28%. By the way, I'm doing back of the envelope math. Please, I hope I'm not quoted by any scholars or sana hindi mag-react yung mga scholarly academic gatekeepers. Pero mga 28% yan of the electorate. You contrast that with the Duterte brand, which is anywhere from 35 to 40. So there's still that gap. So there has to be a consolidation to siguro more directly address your question, Ma'am Denise. No, there has to be that consolidation between an intellectual / moral / Gen Z choice, and I hated using that word moral, by the way, but an intellectual / moral / Gen Z choice with a super massa appeal candidate. Pag yan pinagsanib puwersa mo, maaaring may tulog sa words ni Lord De Vera. May tulog ang Duterte brand kung yan ang tinapat mo.
Oh, narinig ko rin yan sa mga ng boxing, yung may tulog sila. Pero anyway, medyo kinabahan kami sa iyong prediction, sa iyong analysis. Maraming salamat sa oras mo na binahagi sa atin, Ginoong Alan Herman. Thank you, sir. Mabuhay ka.
Mabuhay kayo, maraming salamat at happy viewing sa lahat ng manonood at tagapakinig. Salamat po.
All right. Thank you, sir.